What's going on, guys? It's Gordon Sign here, coach of your Trenton Dragapults, bringing you the Week 7 recap. Today, I am joined by Incog.
Hello.
And I am joined by Tyler.
I'm the supper.
And we're starting off with the Walt versus Evan. So, this battle, I remember this one's a close one, is how it ends. But on paper, both teams definitely looked like it was a winnable match, and that was something that I liked about this battle just going in. Was like I couldn't predict who was gonna come out of it, and yeah, early game, I found it a little weird for Evan to lead with the Snorlax, but it ended up actually kind of working out with scaring out the Drapion lead in fear of a earthquake or a belly drum, I guess. And Walt starts up early with the screens and shit just to try and get some momentum. And the tech of the seed bomb on the Snorlax is good from Evan there. And Walt's like, yeah, not having that. But again,
Calling out the switch was good too, honestly.
Yeah,
The reflect
that was
mattered
huge. I mean, am I the only one that just cannot stand going up against double steel type teams?
more. I mean, I like them because I have a Cinderace.
I mean, I'm
that's
sure
fair.
you do.
Personally, they expire in front of me. But, however, this was a really interesting way to let your Snorlax die because it just was like, oh, well, I don't care. So I didn't understand why. I think
Nice
it's
crit.
7, yeah, just kind of stayed in, and
Right.
you
Yeah.
know what? That's okay. Outlasting the reflect is important and everything, but then this happens. So then he goes to Shell Smash here, deciding, you know what? Let's get it started. Deal Spike, 75%, and then we just see the Fire Blast that does not kill, unfortunately.
Hold on. Turtonator outsped Corviknight naturally. What? That's
Well, yeah, this Corviknight probably isn't running speed,
Right,
but that
it's on max
Turtonator's
move.
running a lot of speed
Right.
because it would need to beat the entirety of that team.
Yeah.
Right.
So then Dragon's Ult comes in, obviously. Max Guard happens. Bolt Beak. As far as I'm aware, that probably would have killed, and it's probably still going to kill here. But he goes into Cincino expecting to gash it on, which is correct.
I found it a little weird to max guard there. Like instead of just switching on the bolt beak, but I guess it didn't hurt to scout.
Yeah, it's also just extra leftovers, I suppose.
True.
But we'll see. So he just goes for Tail Slap, expecting something else to come in, I suppose. And
Nice
This-
damage.
this damage, and this is where we reveal that it was not skill link.
Yeah,
That
I was just about to say that. Didn't hit 5
surprised me.
times.
For me personally, I knew because of the damage, it wasn't going to do a lot to a Bronzong.
Right.
But Jesus. All right, so then the Hattering comes in, takes that Drain Punch. Drapion comes in, of course. Psychic
Well,
happens.
that's a weird one to me as well. The psychic there and not go for the fairy type move, but I guess. But
I mean, he might have just been expecting a little bit
right.
something different, I suppose. Who knows? Knockoff happens, knocking off the Lapras's leftovers, and then the G-Max Lapras is here. Gets poison jabbed. And gets
Hey, just
poisoned as
come on.
well, which is crazy. Now the G-Max Resistance comes up.
I
and then we
believe
can see
that
it,
toxic
poison jab
X
again.
or that poison ends up mattering. I'm not sure if that's
Yep.
this battle or.
I think the poison does matter because it would have given the Lapras more longevity here, most
Right.
certainly. The U-turn into Gastrodon on the expected Max Geyser definitely did not help at all. And then when it goes back down, now it will probably die to the next poison,
Right.
just because this is just regular poison.
That was a nice freeze dry there.
Freeze dry was good. I don't know why Walt stayed in. I tried to get a little bit of chip and then the U-turn kill. And then I think that's the end of the Aurora Veil there, so that's really good to wear that out. Well, Hattering comes back in. Now Corviknight comes back in, of course, and at this point it's just simply a psychic. It didn't matter at that point.
Hattering is very strong. Like that's kind of why it surprised me earlier. That he
Hattering's
went for the-
strong. It's just like not a great. Doesn't have a great speed tier, obviously, but
Right.
also it's just a weird Pokemon.
Well, remember,
Yeah.
Hattering one-shot my Dreadnought 1 week.
Was
Only
that
getting the
max?
3 there ended up.
Costing him the battle,
Yeah.
honestly.
Big
Because
time.
Now the Bolt Beak doesn't kill still, and the Earthquake happens into Mach Punch, and that's
Right.
just a GG. It's a close match, honestly, but it,
Right.
like
One
could
tail
go either
slap.
way.
If he got one more, it would have been different. Oh,
Most
man.
certainly.
So that was a close one. GG's to both. And next we have Hash versus Golem. Now on paper, going into this, if you looked at the two teams, it was a little scary. You got Hash, who's had an incredible season so far. You got Golem, who's been better, but there are times where he's played like past seasons, and so it didn't seem like it was going to be that close on paper. That being said, Golem actually put up a fairly good fight against this team. Now, Hash knowing the normal Shuckle, calling out the taunt turn 1, but good switch for Golem into Weavile. Unfortunately for Golem, though, he doesn't have good hazard removal, and Hash is going to take a big advantage of that.
Yup. So as we see this now happen, we see the knockoff, knocks off the leftovers. Not King's Rock this week. Fuck you, Hash. And just now it's just terrifying how this could go. He low kicks him. He would have killed him most likely if he didn't Iron Defense.
Right.
But he also would have probably died if he didn't low kick. If he didn't Iron Defense. But hey, that's okay.
Good
so now
thing
the Shadow Sneak's coming in here.
Yep. And that was huge. Being able to do that and take out that Cloister that early was really good for Golem.
Golem was playing a really decent game here.
I also I do kind of like the trick. Yeah. This week it being Black Sludge instead of it being the eject button set. It's a little disappointing, but I understand it. Trying to get
I get why. He wants to wear that down just in case there was a berry on it too.
Right.
Which makes a lot of sense. So now, obviously everybody knows the big boy on campus, Young Choice Band, Surfetch, but it dies unfortunately to G-Max Replenish. If you had waited till it wasn't G-Max, it would have killed. I've run that calc. And
at this point, Mr. Fish can come in.
But
El
now he
Degas is
has
just like nothing.
the worst named Pokemon in existence.
No, we've seen worse nicknames this season.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that name.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that one.
Living on 3 was nice.
Yeah, it was. And then he just goes for another Fishious Ren, doing 72%, which, I mean, he still dies, but I mean, like, he still has a G-Max in the back, which is still a pretty good Pokemon in this match. The issue, I would say, is that I'll just let it go.
Max Strike, not bad. Another one,
Max Strikes it again.
It's utterly blasted by that Giga Drain.
See, I remember telling Golem early on that, hey man, why run an ice move? Just don't run it because it doesn't get any physical ice moves. And we got to that point where it might have helped a little.
Right, the 1 week.
And then
the attempt.
Happened. Good lord.
This Shuckle. Unfortunately for Golem, Hash can also do that shit. He does bring the infestation this week, so good on Golem to make that improvement from the wrap set he brought against Flapjack. But, as we see here, Hash brought Sing, and that is going to be an issue. Because if Shuckle is going to sleep without getting health back, there's a big problem. Also, this infestation damage is not 0. It's doing 0. And that's because Clef is Magic Guard?
Yep, Magic Guard. And that's the entire thing that happened here. I mean, it sucks. It sucks that we go through this so often with this goddamn Pokemon. But you know what? It certainly be like that sometimes. Just one of those kind of things.
Exactly.
And he's got the 3-turn sleep, which sucked as well, because he could have rested or had something else. But in the end, 3-0 victory for Hash.
It was a good fight by Golem, though, to get him down to a 3-0, because a lot of people have gotten beat pretty bad by Hash. So
a lot of people have suffered worse.
So,
all right.
Nuke versus Flapjack. This battle, this is another one I found interesting. Now, unfortunately,
starts off interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately for Flapjack, that Rhyperior does a lot to his team. And while Gengar can't have coverage for it, it doesn't really want to take what Rhyperior can dish back out. And so, at this point, starting off though, Flapjack gets that huge damage. And Nuke fires right back and not missing the Hydro Pump. Something you might see the next week, some misses here and there. Good switch into the Dragapult and then doubling back into the Rotom was pretty good as well. Nice
a
fake
fake
out
out.
chip. Not that really mattered, seeing that, it has leftovers. And now the Willow Burn. That was actually huge to land that.
His knockoff would have killed, most certainly.
Mm-hmm. We also see
Now-
that this Scrafty's insanely bulky.
Well, it's a bit offensive, a little bit of bulk. He goes to the D-Dance knowing full well that he's not going to die to the knockoff at all. But knocking out the power up is definitely important.
Right.
But that did enable the acrobatics. Nuke goes to the Phantom Force here. Well, does a Heavy Slam. Doing just 45%, which,
It's not
Heavy
that
Slam
great,
does a lot.
especially now that it's at +1. And so he realizes that he has to switch out. Good call.
and
on
I
the
like
rocks.
the call out. He knew that Nuke was going to switch out or that he would Phantom Force again, leaving him to go for Rock. Then Heavy Slam just does another chunk. Honestly, Flapjack, I want you to know, Mudsdale to Mudsdale, we get payback. It's really good. But anyways, G-Max Hatterene. Shadow Ball doesn't do too much, and then we just see the G-Max Smite. Still don't like the effect of it. I don't know why it has to cause confusion.
Yeah, I don't know either.
And we see this with the Max Guard and the Max Steel Surge, which you might figure, man, he might not have anything for this. And you might be correct, but we'll never know, because Nuke likes to EV his Caporages to be slower threats. See a Will-O-Wisp from Gengar. Steel Surge again, just because it's good damage, honestly.
Right. Even with Burn, it almost kills that Gengar. And at this point, these hazards are going to be a problem for Flapjack.
Yep. So just out of the Gengar into Toxtricity, which just dies. Goes into Halucha now. And I mean, at this point in time, this battle was kind of, I wouldn't say it's over, but it's definitely just not going his way. With the
Right.
Sky Attack missing, because obviously he avoided it. Phantom Force not killing. And then he goes into Rhyperior here. And the whole entire thing about it was that he got the Sky Attack off, which made him faster, which definitely didn't help him at all.
Right.
And then just Ice Punch, and then the game is just basically finished at this point.
Just
Yeah.
cleans it up. Yeah.
Like we said earlier, Rhyperior versus Gengar, and then Skuntank as well. Skuntank's just like, hello, I'm going to get a kill, because why not?
Yep.
And there goes the Gengar. And that's a 4-0 win
Yep.
for Nuke. So Nuke's been on a tear quite recently, and, we'll see how he does against Hash next week. But until then, on to our next battle here. Incog, this was your fight against Flapjack, so go ahead
Oh
and talk
man.
to him.
Tell us all about
Did
it.
I say Flapjack?
just-
I meant Fish.
I'll just go over the team briefly. It's Solar Blade Power Herb, Aegislash, Scarf Obstagoon, Defensive Serena, Choice Scarf, Gengar G-Max, Focus Sash Rabombi, and Light Clay and Teleon. And this match is very much dictated on what he did first. So the first few turns are a bit slow, but let's go ahead and get it started. So from a very basic standpoint, I knew that I needed to beat Steelix first. So I went Obstagoon just in case I wanted to, if he went something else. Now, if he went Hitmontop, Defiant Boost. Awesome. But probably wouldn't do that. If he went Pelipper first, I had a good strat for that. I switched into Serena. Real easy. He goes for Body Press, and now he gets the Rocky Helmet damage. That means now I can OHKO it. Won't have Sturdy anymore. It goes into Hitmontop, take the attack drop, and I go U-turn, because that's the best play for me momentum-wise. Go into Rabombi here. Now, at this point, he could just stay in, but I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to Moonblast just to see what happens. Takes
Right.
19, and then I'm like, all right, I need to switch out. I go into Serena again, takes the Rocky Helmet once again, and at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go for Synthesis here. I believe that's what I did, just to keep my health up, because I said, you know what? He's not going to be able to kill me. Whatever. So then, he goes for Sub. This is at this point where I didn't know that his set was weird. I didn't even know what his set really was. It was like Close Combat, Earthquake, substituting something else. So he goes to Close Combat. I go for another Trop Kick. I'm like, all right, at this point, he's going to switch out most likely. So I'm just going to go for Synthesis here just to see how much damage he's still going to do. Goes a Volt Switch, expecting me to switch out, obviously. Going to Pelipper. Well, at this point, I just go U-turn, Rapid Spin first to get the speed boost.
Also,
And
I
then
guess
I can-
in case you want webs.
Mm-hmm. And then I go into Inteleon here, and he goes for Hurricane, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring up one of my screens. And that's Reflect, because I don't really need Light Screen at this point, because a lot of his team is physical. So I'm going to Obstagoon, And this is the surprise. He lives. I didn't know he was going to live. But he doesn't get the burn, and it wouldn't have mattered because I was guts anyway. So going to Serena, expecting him to go out into something else, which he goes into Galvantula. He goes just straight Thunder. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I go for Rapid Spin to get up a boost. And then he just goes for Bug Buzz because I knew I wouldn't beat him in terms of speed. So I was like, whatever, that's cool. So now I go Gengar, and now this is where I guess Fish kind of messed up. He lets his Galvantula die. And then he goes into Barraskewda. Goes for Crunch. I guess he might have forgot the Reflector was up or something because he was going to die. But he also didn't want to let like other Pokemon go down. So then I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm going to go for G-Max Terror again because why not?
Might as well.
Felix actually lives that, which is crazy.
Yeah. And then I just go for Energy Ball because the rest of his team doesn't want to take that. Goes into Hitmontop. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm going to go ahead and switch into Rabombi, take the hit, and whatever happens, happens. Goes for Earthquake. I just go for Moonblast here because I'm like, whatever, he dies. And he dies because he can't switch out into anything. So now Dreadnought. Now, this is the weirdest one because I'm like, what should I do here, Avery? What should I do? So I go ahead and just go into Gengar and say, I can probably get enough damage on him or I kill him. And I end up killing him. And that was the surprising part because Choice Scarf beat Adamant, not Jolly. And that was basically the end game for me. Now, if Gengar didn't outspeed and die, Aegislash kill with Solar Blade, and then Aegislash could beat Pelipper, and so can Obsidian at that point. So really was him sacking Barraskewda early that really messed him up, and additionally not ever getting up webs. Though I had Defog on Rabombi and Rapid Spin on Serena, it was still a really bad situation for him.
Right.
Yep.
That being said, Valor vs. Cog.
This hurts. This hurts.
Poor Valor. There's a theme between this week and next week, and that is Valor and I are very unlucky when it comes to things.
There are the
Turn 2, Cog already crits this Jellicent. Now let it be known, Cog hates Jellicent, so any hacks he gets on Jellicent, he doesn't care.
But the fact that it's Valor just hurts because it keeps stacking up. So then the wish happens. And then
Valor.
this
Another crit.
number 2.
In 4 attacks, 2 crits. Now Seismitoad does go down, but I mean it's already put in so much fucking work.
Yep. Getting rid of the Sylveon is very important because Cog's team hates Sylveo and like it most certainly doesn't want to deal with it.
Right.
Flare Blitz to break the disguise. He can't ever Shadow Sneak, which, I mean, that's true. Play Rough doesn't do as much. I guess he didn't have Shadow Claw this week. And then just Will-O-Wisp makes it basically +1.
At least Valor landed that. But oh wait, he did have Shadow Claw, so.
So why didn't he go for it first is the question we all could ask. But who
Yeah,
knows?
Unless he's
He said he misclicked. Maybe that was earlier. Who knows? But on the other hand, he gets rid of the Mimikyu. So Valor's still in a really good position, but it's the crits that really got to him.
right.
So now Jolteon comes in on the Iron Defending Corviknight, while Mamoswine comes in. Val obviously goes for Substitute, which was a still weird play to me, but I mean, it's a baton pass into a sub. So then Arcanine comes in, can't Intimidate because of Oblivious. And I'm pretty sure this is still just the same old Scarf Mamoswine because it obviously goes before the Arcanine. And this is just an interesting situation going on.
Ndidi now gets that terrain up. I guess Valor feels comfortable enough to kind of let Ndidi take damage, which I found a little interesting. But it is getting a decent chip on this Corviknight. But Body Press is going to kill. However, it's going to put Cog right in range of Jolteon. And I found that a little interesting, the Baton Pass predicting Cog to switch out instead of go. I'm assuming he had predicted Mammo and went for it, but going right into Jellicent was huge. Also getting that Strength Sap off was big for Toxic. Now Ironhead. Ironhead has a chance to flinch. Also, every move has a chance to crit. Oh, look, it crit.
The question of the day is, did it matter? And I will tell you right now, it did.
It most certainly did, because it put it in range of Toxic. Jolteon's coming back in to put up sub, and I'm assuming he thought maybe he could do it, but...
Yeah, I get why he did it, because Mamoswine could have came in. Right. But at that point, I mean, it's whatever. Goes for Thunder Wave, lands it. That's important. because landing it is better for him. Incog signs in because I just got into the battle a few turns ago. And then he goes for Endure. This right here is why Cog knows what he's doing half the time. The Endure, and then the Dynamax, and then the Tartness, which lowers the evasion. It gets Steel Surge up, which is still really good. And then the Parrot didn't do anything for him, which would have impacted the game a little bit more.
Right.
And it would have definitely helped him out, most certainly. Still, a good game, but god damn, this was not Valor's day. It really hasn't been Valor's weeks, to be quite fair.
Yeah. And that's a rough one for Valor, you know. Cog played the way he had to play, you know, and it happens, but obviously without those crits, I mean, we're watching a different battle there.
Yep.
Oh.
Feel bad, man.
Oh, weird battles. This one. Mark
Aaron
versus
versus
Aaron.
Mark. This is a weird one.
So Arctos immediately comes in. Mark does get up his rocks, which are good against Aaron's team. And Aaron actually calls out the Vaporeon switch and goes to the freeze dry to get some chip, which is good. Mark there just scouting to see what Aaron was going to do. I found it a bit strange, but, you know, getting
No
leftover
burn.
recovery. No burn on Caparaja was big as well.
No burn part 2 on Rotom, and then just protecting, just the scout. Sees the nasty plot. Now here, this is obvious. I mean, he needs a +2 at least to probably Yoko it. So then he goes into his Colossal, just why not? Goes to Thunderbolt and it dies.
Yeah, Colossal unfortunately
gone.
goes down early. Now Conk's able to come in and take that Volt Switch.
A
If he went
lot
for
more
Thunderbolt, that probably would have killed.
Yep, but then he gets a good chunk of health back because, well, it's a Caparage with a lot of health versus a Conkeldurr.
Now,
Mew comes in.
Mew's able to come in here, does get the Psychic off, which is decent chip, but obviously against a Vaporeon, it's not going to be
Gets the
enough.
nasty
He knows
plot
that.
going. Goes for the Toxic, obviously knowing that the Synchronize is going to happen. Goes for a Protector just to scout. But gets up another nasty plot because Aaron full well knows that this Vaporeon is important for this match. Goes for Orisphere, doesn't kill. Goes for Scold, does a good chunk. And now the Vaporeon goes down, but the Mew still has good health. And then more Pico.
Unfortunately
dies. It gets outspent by 6 points. I don't know what everyone's
Right.
going on about. And then
Now
the
Mew
Poison
does go
Piston-
down to the Toxic, and Zard reveals Heavy Duty Boots as usual.
Yep,
Air
and
Slash
then
gets the kill
Slash
on
just
Kong.
kills.
Oh, now I remember the battle.
Yep.
So at this point, Aaron says, I think we have an issue. I can't
Oh,
G-Max. Turns out, before the battle,
That's
Aaron
OU.
insisted this battle had to be in NatDex OU.
Oops.
NatDex
He-
OU, as everybody knows, has Dynamax and Gigantamax banned. Always has. Well, just
Aaron-
recently did it, actually.
Aaron claims he just got confused between this league and his other leagues, but that's actually going to play a factor in how this endgame works out because, as we see here with Corviknight, it doesn't play out the way it should have. So Corviknight dies there, but it turns out that if we after running calcs between when Aaron would have maxed versus Mark, and then Mark's maxing, and how much damage rolls would have done. Basically, if they were able to max, seeing that no player knew the difference until they got to the point where they were gonna do it anyway, it didn't affect how they played up until that point. We decided best case is that we just give Mark an 0-3 loss instead of an 0-4 loss, seeing that based on damage rolls and things, Zard would have been dead if Mark could max and then played the situation right, which was fairly obvious how to play it. So, and then Corv would have then died to Rotom because Rotom just outspeeds. So that was what we basically said was it's a 3-0 for Aaron, not a 4, and Rotom gets the kill instead of Zard at the end.
Yep, I mean, yeah, it was pretty recent that NatDex OU did ban it, but I mean, still, playing anything goes. That should be the number one thing.
Playing anything goes or Ubers. I mean,
Yep.
anything goes is safer in case somebody has baton pass, obviously, as we saw earlier. But I still
Yeah,
don't
I
get why
don't-
baton pass is completely banned. Like, I feel like it should be a clause where it's like no multi-pass or something like sleep, where if you try and go for it, it just is like, nope, can't do that.
Don't worry, they've had it before. They're just too lazy.
Oh, great.
Believe me, Gen 6 was the time.
True.
That'd be nice.
All right, Primer versus JD. Good Lord have mercy.
Oh, this one.
What happened here? All right, so just Milotic versus Dracovish goes for Crunch. Just recovers. Primer knows how to beat this fish thing here.
So
And
JD's
Helioburst
like,
comes
get me the
in
hell out of here.
and just a Toxic. Goes into Flygon, most certainly, just obvious at this point.
Rest
you
in
know-
peace, HP Ice.
Oh, one thing leads to another, HP Ice not being there. Earthquake. And at this point, I'm thinking to myself, what happens if he Scarf Flygon? So goes for Fishious Rend on the Ferrothorn. I think Primer has had to deal with Dracovish for 2 straight weeks where he's had just Rocky Helmet, Ferrothorn, and Iron Barb, so that's pretty good.
Fish going down that early is a bit.
A bit weird, but you know, it happens.
Yeah.
And
Shadow
then-
Ball not being able to pick up the KO is unfortunate there. I'm
Yep.
not sure if it
JD.
was a roll, but
JD was just going through it this entire battle. Because, good lord, that was something. Not getting the kill. And then Garbodor comes in, of course. Then the Thunder Wave happens. And I'm like, what is going on here? Why would you Thunder Wave a Ferrothorn? Goes to Clear Smog, which, I mean, you know, it's Clear Smog. Rock Polish up. Paralyzed.
Para.
And then Ferrothorn comes back in. And then we see the Metal Burst, which I think is personally weird. But hey, it could work. Gopher Grease comes in.
misses
Stone
the Stone
Edge
Edge, which is
missed.
unfortunate.
As I'll keep saying every time, JD has had one of the weirder seasons, and it's coming to light right now.
Also, Primer versus JD, Stone Edge missing is no. It's these two have seen Stone Edge misses before. If we take you back to season 5, their battle, Primer couldn't hit a Stone Edge, so JD kept setting up because he needed to get hit, and he got hit and crit, and it killed him because it crit. Good times. Anyway,
Yeah, no, he couldn't hit a Stone Edge that game to save his life.
another Stone Edge miss.
Yeah, if he had gotten that damage, would have been better for endgame.
Also, that
stuff.
Spadef drop ends up mattering.
Yep.
Oh,
And knockoff, not doing as much, and then the Reckless being taken away, plus the Pain split. And man, if you don't know my hatred for Kofagrigus, it's on display right now. The
that
body, press
press
killing
was super
Heliolisk.
effective.
It was just Kofagrigus sitting here in front of this.
Right.
Kofagrigus is fair and balanced. I don't know what you're talking about.
And the high jump kick just to let his thing die.
JD said, fuck it, you don't get a kill.
Yep. And Grimmsnarl can get this kill by bulking up. Because he knew that all he had to do was bulk up a little bit to get a kill. Now, obviously, he's just waiting to get hit. JD is like, no, I need to make sure you die. And that's essentially what's going on. And then,
There it
finally,
is.
he goes to the Gigantamax, goes to the Max Snooze, and it obviously kills. And then Primer surprises nobody but everyone with his own G-Max, and it's a special fairy move because he knew going into this that he needed a way to kill it, so he went with that.
Yep, Dazzling Gleam on Grimmsnarl wins Primer the game 4-0.
Definitely not JD's day.
No.
All right, now we have Blue Skies versus Lexi, and this right here, this one's a good one. This is a
Oh, right, this
Interesting
one's a
game.
nail biter, right? This is
Yup,
a...
this one.
This one could have gone either way.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, the Hurricane for big damage, but that Thunder Punch...
The Thunder Punch not killing was
No.
definitely impactful.
Right.
Yeah, that was.
But
Hey,
Hurricane
look,
misses.
something else misses.
and then Surf happens, and I was guessing that the
Predicting
Yes,
an extra
fucking
drill
extra
switch,
drill.
yeah. But
The
also,
Thunderbolt.
yeah,
and then just close
close
combat.
combat. So now we're back to 5-5. This is
literally a game of who hits who harder
yeah.
because they weren't really going for bulky sets. They weren't really going for trying to outwit each other with, wall versus wall. They were just hitting each other. I like the Max Quake. I mean, Drill Run is an interesting move to have on your Lapras, but you know what? It's fine.
That Drain Punch come in super handy, but then the Max
Yep.
Mindstorm, just
Yep.
unexpected from Lexi.
And
Finally
entire
gets up the
thing here.
screens as well.
Yep, Lexi gets up the screen.
Or
and then we
Blue
just see
Skies
Dark
gets on
Sky.
the screen.
Yeah. Blue Sky got up the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you,
light
you
screen,
flipped
right.
them a little. Yeah, and now they're just battling out. Like I said,
Nice
there's
para.
no real bolt going on. There's just hit each other. And
That para allows for the ice beam as well, so that
Yep.
was
drill
damage
coming
there.
in. And now here we go. Extra drill gets 1.
That
And we
good
see
drill's like,
Corviknight.
fuck this, I'm out, which is a
Tank
good switch.
comes in.
Now
and
Corv's
full cut
back to
inevitably.
Corv things.
Yep. Fire punch doesn't do a lot. Obviously behind reflect, but then the burn.
The burn
And the
was
bird bird
huge.
still kills though.
That
Because
burn was I actually got so excited when I saw that burn. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So
Duraludon
Duraludon
coming
now comes
in.
in.
that Thunderbolt still did nothing because of the light screen and the roost. And this is still a really close game. I mean, it could literally lead to anybody winning. The crit after the light screen goes back down. And then at this point, I think the Thunderbolt kills. But unfortunately for rolls, it doesn't. Brave Bird doesn't do a lot, which leads to recoil killing. Now we're at Obstagoon and Gengar versus the World, where Thunderbolt doesn't do a lot. Knocks off the Choice Scarf, which now allows Lexi to just pummel this Duraludon.
That
Drop
being
in the-
said, hopefully
This-
there's an answer.
Yep. Now we get the Facade, which kills the Slurpuff, and now we have Excadrill versus the World, which now Blue Skies just goes for Ironhead, and at this
Reveals
point, you're
its
probably
Scarf.
thinking to yourself. Now, it's the reveal of Scarf, but it also should have just been using Earthquake,
Right.
because
If Earthquake there, it still kills. And as we're
Mhm.
going to see against Gengar,
but this right here is why. The
39.
Earthquake could have, the Earthquake being super effective probably would have killed it, or at least
No,
half
it
of
would have killed it.
Oh
I
well.
think we ran the rolls, and I think Earthquake did kill, and that's
Yeah,
very unfortunate.
It dealt like 90. It dealt like 95% damage to it or something like that. It
Mhm.
was like low roll 95%, high roll like 100 and something.
Right.
It would have killed it easily.
Well, in the meantime, Lexi gets a good kill and gets the win here on a very close match.
Right, and for Blue Skies, I mean, this is huge improvement, and like
Yep.
you could definitely see her walking away with at least one win, if not more than one,
Mhm.
Before the season ends. So we'll see
Definitely
how she
close
does going
games.
forward.
Yep. And now we get to these two guys in call, ready to talk about their match. So I'm just gonna shut up.
All right,
Gordon, tell me all about this match.
so I brought Ditto because I know you had Ditto. I'm like, you know what? He likes Ditto shenanigans. I'll feed him Ditto shenanigans.
We're a squad. See, we're like best friends in this game.
Sure. I bring this Anaconda because I'm like, you know what? He likes getting run up on by ground type moves, so I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna bring Coil. I'm not gonna use it until Ditto's dead, but I'm gonna bring it just in case. Dragon
Well,
Ball.
it's definitely not like 4 of my 6 mons are ground weak. You know, not at
Yeah.
all.
Gmax Machamp does Gmax Machamp things. I believe I ran weakness policy this week, and I remember thinking when I start the battle, I'm like, wait, why did I do that? He has a Ditto. I can't have this now. And I'm like, oh well, I have this item. This could be bad because Scarf +2 attack Machamp is terrifying against my team. And so I didn't really think that one through. Dragon Ball, I believe, was a spec set. I don't particularly remember. I think this is Steel type Silvally. Again, not 100.
Yeah, Steel type Savali.
And then pretty basic Rillaboom set. Oh shit! Real and Tyler, your team, walk us through.
Okay, so the thought process behind this team was, so I told Gordon this, that when I first went into this match, I imagined him leading off with his. Let me see your team real quick. I'm trying to remember your whole team here.
Oh right,
Because
I had
I
Bandit
remember-
Rillaboom. That was it.
Well, yeah, no. So the plan. Oh, that's what it was. My thought process behind this whole team was for you to lead off with Rotom Heat and Volt switch out on my Dreadnought, so that I could use the Gmax Ice move on you into your Rillaboom to kill it right off the bat. Because I knew that Rillaboom was going to be such a huge threat. Obviously, Ditto is just my typical full HP, full special defensive spread. because it's already scarfed. What more speed does it really need? My Arcanine, the whole point for Arcanine here was really to kind of slow down the Dragapult, the Silvally, and the Machamp, just because I could kind of intimidate swap. Obviously, I knew that my Morpeko was just kind of there to pick off kills because it's so quick. Does it really do much this week? Absolutely not. Obviously, the Toxapex is just the absolute unit that it really is, because this thing is just never dies. And then Sylveon, I was actually varying between bringing Sylveon or Manabuzz this week just because I wasn't sure. I ended up going with the Sylveon specifically for the Dragapult and the Machamp. I just felt like that would be a better call there. I think I would have rather have brought the Manabuzz, actually, knowing how things play out, just because I feel like it hit Dragapult, Machamp, and Rillaboom better, but it just, we'll see how this plays out.
Right. And so, as you said, your plan was the Dreadnought, and now you do have the Ice-type move now. I didn't expect it. I was going for Thunderbolt. I want big damage, and I actually end up living, but I fucking died to the ice, so it's like, that's not great. But
well, yeah, and see, knowing that I got a lot of flack for letting my Dreadnought die here. I knew that I didn't need Dreadnought after this because I knew that he didn't outspeed anything that I wanted to kill with it, and I knew that I had other things to kill it with. The big reason why I let this thing die was because not only did I get a free switch in something here, but also because I realized that this is no speed, choice banded Dreadnought, and I didn't outspeed anything here.
right.
So I was like, there's no reason for me to let this thing live.
So Arcanine now comes in, and I'm like, all right, well, Rillaboom's got to be preserved because it's Bandit, and that's still going to do big damage throughout the battle. So I go into my resting Sandaconda because I brought a rest set this week, rest Shedskin. Now, I was going to see what this set is. And Earthquake actually gets some good chip here. But I don't want to take that damage back because while I could rest, I'd rather not have to deal with that. So for now, I'm just kind of like, all right, let's just preserve some stuff. And Sandaconda comes back in to get big damage on this Toxapex. Liquidation is not going to kill me next time, so I'm free to Earthquake again. Tyler knows that and goes out and Sylveon. But again, Earthquake do big damage, and that's why I love Sandaconda, because people don't realize how high of an attack stat it has, and it just hits very hard.
It's a good bulky attacker, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those Pokemon that has to either get set up or be in a good situation to do damage. So it's always a good one.
Here I kind of predicted the idea that you were going to attempt to switch in the Arcanine here. That's why the Ditto here. That's why I close combated. It's because I figured I'm not going to Flare Blitz it because it's not going to do anything, and I doubt you switch in the Rillaboom on an Arcanine.
Right.
So here I knew that I had to stop you from getting the attack on me. I did not want to lose my item here.
Yeah, and Sash coming off Morpeko, but it's not like a huge deal. Like you said, Morpeko's not super crucial this battle.
See the fake out obviously to become a electric type
Electric.
Power Wheel again.
Oh, yeah.
Then the Protect to get back the Dark type, and we assume that was just for damage, obviously, with the fake out. Goes for Seed Bomb, expecting Sandaconda switching, which is definitely a good prediction. I'm not gonna lie, just didn't work out this time. But let me see the parting shot finally. After 8 million years, try and do it, and then
this
even more.
This was huge for me right here because I knew that to win this game I had to get rid of this Ditto, and so with you kind of switching in the Arcanine and then getting a -1 attack, I was kind of like, all right, I can switch in here and take something. And then when I saw the Silvally, I was just kind of like, okay, I can probably kill this thing here. But then I saw this Swords Dance and I pooped a little bit.
But I missed.
Then the Thunder Fang miss into the haze. So now we're just back to square one, where he goes to Thunder Fang naturally. And now we understand that it probably wouldn't have done that much in the first place.
Right. It would have been,
just
a lot better.
One more time, and then the liquidation happens. Remember, that's a 95% chance to hit, 5% chance to miss.
Nice
Terrible.
choice.
Terrible ass move.
That being said, if I hit, the one when I was at +2, it would have done double, and this thing would have been a lot lower.
Yep,
okay.
most likely.
Question is why liquidation?
What?
Onto
hello,
the
Hash.
Sandaconda.
No. Why liquidation on Toxapex in general?
Okay, so the reason why was because I know that a lot of the mons he has, and specifically the Machamp, get guts, and the only reason why I didn't want to do it is because I didn't want to give him the free Flame Orb if he's not using it. Now I know 90% of the time he's going to be using Flame Orb, but just on the off chance that he isn't, I didn't want to do it. I really am a big fan of liquidation, plus mostly because it has a chance to get the defense drop, which allows me to hit a little bit harder. And I knew that burn didn't really do a whole lot in this week's matchup. Looking back on it, I probably should have brought the liquidation,
This wasn't
or not the liquidation, the scald. I've always been more of a fan of liquidation on Toxapex more than scald, just because I feel like I like getting the defense drops, and I like being able to hit a little bit harder residually over time.
Right.
Plus, Toxapex isn't necessarily supposed to. It isn't supposed to necessarily hit hard. It's just supposed to kind of sit there and watch you die. That's how I see Toxapex.
My bad, by the way, in the team preview, I said it was the rest set. Now, this was the week I brought the Coil with the 3 attacking moves. The last one being, I believe, Stone Edge for the Mandibuzz with lefties. So that was my bad on the set. Yeah, rest would have been nice because this thing wasn't getting chipped down a lot. Like, it was getting chipped, but it could have, if it could have, like, got back up to full, it probably could have put in a lot more work in this battle. Now, at this point, I'm like, alright, I'm just going to go for damage. Expecting Toxapex to come back in. He actually doesn't do it. Goes in the Morning Sun, which is a good call. So I'm like, alright, at this point, Machamp has to come in because I can't sit there forever and just keep clicking Psychic Fangs.
Yeah, and okay, so I'm gonna show you after this next move hits, I'm gonna have you pause it.
Right. So there's the Max Rockfall kill.
So that kills. I knew that was gonna kill. I was okay sacrificing my Arcanine in there because I kind of knew that nothing here killed me at this point. Right. Okay, so pause it. So right here, I actually got a lot of flack for not switching in here. The reason why I didn't switch in here was because I knew that I could live most of what the Machamp threw my way, and my Ditto is scarfed and likely outspeeds everything that comes in here after this point. Right. And so my hope in letting you and not switching in the Ditto here was that you would go for something else that would boost your stats of some way, maybe a max fighting move, maybe something like that to raise your attack stat, or give me a little bit more bulk potentially. So that's part of the reason why I didn't use Ditto in here, and I just kind of brought in my Toxapex knowing that I could kind of live something here.
Right, and so for me, I went, all right, if I max Lightning here and this thing dies, Ditto comes in, and my game now comes down to a speed tie between his Ditto and my Ditto.
Well, no, not really, because your Ditto can't copy his Ditto. So
yeah,
you lose.
Wait, yeah, it doesn't transform into the...
Nope.
No, Ditto doesn't transform other Dittos.
Only one imposter.
Oh, shit.
And so that's why I didn't bring in Ditto here, was because I knew that Ditto was forfeit. Machamp dies once it's out of Dynamax, which I think by this point, by the time the Toxapex actually died here, it has one turn. Yeah. And so I just kill you.
I feel like if you went Ditto into his Machamp, it would have killed regardless because he was at 37%. You would have won. You like it was game over if you did that.
It probably would have either way. It realistically probably would have either way. But again, I just on the side of being safe than sorry, I was mostly afraid of that Sandaconda too. I actually remember sitting there thinking to myself, wait, Sandaconda's almost dead. I don't know what I'm afraid of. But by that point, you already switched out, and I kind of knew that nothing here got past this Toxapex.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I misplay here as well. I should have clicked recover and then switched back out.
Oh, wow.
I should have just clicked recover.
Pause it right here for me, Gordon.
Yeah, I got you.
That's another reason why I brought liquidation this week too, was because I knew you had the Ditto, and I knew that if it came down to a Ditto Toxapex fight off, I won no matter what, because my Toxapex out-recovered your Ditto any day of the week. And so I knew that liquidation would not only do nothing to my Toxapex, but also I could live it easily, recover the damage back, and then kill you in return. It wasn't the best choice probably. I should have brought the Scald anyway. Right. But just like looking at the overall matchup, I knew that Toxapex was so valuable in this week, and I knew that I kind of had to prepare to give it everything that it needed.
Right, and if I clicked recover there, I probably could have went back into Machamp, but there really wasn't much for me to do at this point. I kind of had my win con with Machamp, and then I realized, wait, that's a Ditto. If I go for it, I lose. So everything kind of went to shit at that point.
So then
Oh,
I
you
made.
didn't switch out your Toxapex? You know it had Regenerator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made
No, like the Ditto that was Toxapex could have switched out and got HP.
right. I mean, I should have clicked recover. That was the main mistake. I actually wasn't Guts this week. I was no guard because of the Stone Edge. I didn't want to miss it on the Mandibuzz because last week I missed some 80% moves. Turns out it just wasn't the Mon that needed no guard this week. I do get the Thunder Punch. And so now I'm like, okay, all I need is a para. Please just para. Please just para. Please just para. Doesn't para. I'm like, well, rip. Because while I did need the para to get it to a 1-0, I couldn't win, but I went to at least get to a 1-0. And I'm like, come on. I missed two. I had 5% chance to miss the one, 5% chance to miss the other. Can I get a 30 and no? The game's like, fuck you. So
Hopefully your luck gets better this week.
Shut up, Tyler. We're not gonna spoil anything, but God,
hopefully hopefully people can hit me in this next upcoming video.
Jesus Christmas.
Hopefully Clefable gets more kills.
Shut up, guys.
You thought?
I hate all of you except Incog, because Incog's not trying to make me upset right now. Thank you.
I'm doing calcs.
Alrighty. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thanks Hash for showing up with like a battle or two left. Again, unannounced. Thanks. I'm in streamer mode. I had no idea until I heard your voice. It scared me again.
This is gonna be the new meme.
Hate it. I'm gonna have to turn off streamer mode. But anyway, thank you all for watching. Until next week, I've been Gordon signing. I'm signing off.